Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hello, Lakeisha McKnight is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone. Of course, right now I'm live right here on the Facebook platform. I'm also live on other platforms as well as we are doing the video version as well as the podcast version of the Leadership TKO Night Show. So hopefully you all are enjoying our upgrade a bit. We're doing the live video version. I know some people say, well, I like to see a face with a voice. And so that's why we're doing this as well. And so when we're doing these live streams with the video, we're also sending these videos over to the YouTube channel because we do have a YouTube channel as well. So again, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Leadership TKO Night Show. I'm your host, Lakeisha McKnight, and I am super duper excited to be here before you on tonight. And so as I normally do, many of you know when I do the audio podcast, we also do a watch party. So I am going to start a watch party as we speak. All right, so let me go ahead and get this thing going. So bear with me a little bit as we get the podcast watch party going in a very special group as well. So hopefully you all have had a pleasant day, pleasant morning, pleasant afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, because we do have people who are on Spreaker in the iHeartRadio version, right? They're tuning in from all around the world. People from Africa and Asia, right? Europe, throughout the entire world, because this podcast actually reaches well over 20 nations around the world. So welcome and great day to everybody. All right. So we're going to find, of course, this special group that I normally go live in. And we're going to put in my normal message, right? Join me now as I am live. So we're going to put this thing in. Okay. And then we're going to also confirm and make sure that the audio is good for this watch party as well. All right. Sounds like it's pretty good. So I'm going to greet these ladies. Good evening, ladies. So again, welcome aboard, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me on tonight. It's truly an honor, and I've been excited. I have really been patiently waiting for the podcast. I say, look, I can't wait to connect with all of the beautiful people on the social media platforms and all over the world. It's just an honor to really be able to sow value into your lives. And for those of you, if you're not familiar with the Leadership TKO Night Show, what we specifically do is empower leaders like yourself with the ability to win. Okay, who wants to lose, right? We want you to win from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. That's what we do here. We help you to grow your influence, your impact, and your income. And so if you want to do these three, you're in the right place at the right time. And let me tell you, we're not going to be here extremely long tonight because there's an amazing presentation about a money system that I'm going to refer each and every one of you to check out. Okay. For those of you who really are interested in becoming millionaires by choice, I'm going to tell you about that special presentation towards the end. But first, of course, we're here with episode number 2, a part of this new and fresh series here with the Leadership TKO Night Show, the second episode. Okay. And the special topic that we're going to be talking about tonight has a lot to do with your product. Okay. For those of you who are in the network marketing space. So you could be in the direct sales space. You could be, in the e-commerce space. You could be, a home-based rep, just overall home-based rep. And so we're going to share with you, how do you go about protecting your products? I know it may seem like a simple topic, but it's really important. Some people need these extra strategies and tips that's really going to help them out. And we can consider this in any type of industry that we're in. So for those of you who are in the industry of health and wellness, how do you protect your products, right? For those of you who are in the fashion space with jewelry and clothing, how do you protect your products? Better yet, for those of you who are in the money space, right? Your product is money. How do you protect that product? And so I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions on tonight, and I'm definitely going to make it, connected to what it is that I do in the e-commerce company that I'm plugged into specifically. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the strategies about how to protect the product that is a part of your company that you represent. So as an independent rep or as an affiliate, how do you protect those products? So number one, you might want to consider the containers, right? Just having some protective containers to put it in. So if you have like products that are food related or drink related, you want to make sure that you have the right type of container that's going to house it and protect it from natural elements that are in the environment. So make sure it's in a protected and a sealed container so that it does not go bad. So that's, of course, specifically for those of you who are in the food space. If you're in the health and wellness space, containers are great. And even for those of you who have clothing and shoes and jewelry, containers are good. Okay, containers are good to protect it from, moisture, right? Protect it from any other element like water, right, that may impact your product. So make sure you have the right type of containers to protect your product. Now here's strategy number 2 to protect your products. Okay, maybe you want to have your product in your closet or some type of enclosed area, right? So a closet or an enclosed area or a cabinet would suffice for protecting your product. Depending on how big the cabinet is or depending on how big the product is, it can fit in a closet, right? Or a locked area, okay? A lockbox type of area. Here's a third strategy. How about a safe? A safe, right? Depending on the value of that product, you might want to keep it in a safe. So for example, with the products that I have, now my product is money. Many of you probably know that already, right? My product is money. And so here is what I normally have it in this here box, right? So I have it in a box first and foremost, and then I may just actually keep it in a locked area like a safe. So I'm not just going to keep it out and about where people just can come in and just take it or can just go through things. But many of you know, for example, that my product is actually gold. So I'm just going to put it out on the screen so you can see it, zoom in a little bit, but it's gold. So this is 24 karat gold right there in the middle. And so depending on what your product is, you want to keep it in a safe area where no one can get access to it. And I'm telling you, look, when someone asks me, what is it that you have? What product you have? Yes, I have gold and I have, of course, other assets. And so that way, also I do have it in a protected area so no one can get a hold of it. All right. So protect it. Keep it in a safe where it has to be protected. And the only way that people can get it is either through a key or some type of special combination that they would have to use to be able to get access to it. So if your product is money, protect it in a safe. And if it's any other type of valuable product, keep it in a safe. So that is a third option for you. Now, a fourth option would be to keep your product in an offshore account. Okay. Now, many people would say, well, what if I have a whole lot of money or paper money? Isn't that considered valuable? Well, that would actually be a whole nother live stream. Okay. That's a whole nother live stream. What we're familiar with as far as this is actually not valuable. This is a liability. This is not an asset. So this is not really valuable. I can just actually crunch this up and just like toss it away because it's really not worth much of anything. Okay, it's not really worth much of anything. So again, that's a whole nother live stream. But what I will tell you this is, depending on your product and its high amount of value, you can choose an offshore account. So for those individuals who have been thinking about or are a part of the money system that I'm a part of, we actually have an offshore account. So for example, our gold is actually stored in a savings account that is offshore. It's not even here in the United States. And so it's being protected because it's not here. Okay. No one can access it. And so an offshore account is another option that's going to be able to protect your assets or protect your product. And of course, the fifth and the final option that I want to share with you tonight that's going to help you to protect your product is this. You want to make sure, as I was alluding to, make sure your product is in a cool area. Okay, be careful because some products are temperature sensitive. And so if you keep it in a area where it's really hot, it can impact the value of that particular product. Okay. And so if, for example, you sell health and wellness products or health and wellness pills or milkshake powders and all types of things like that, If you keep it in the wrong area where it's really, really hot, you can have some problems. You can have some damaged products. So you want to be careful about keeping it in those areas. It has to be a neutral area where the temperature is kind of like basic room temperature. It's not too cold and it's not too hot. So you want to monitor those things carefully and closely. Okay. Now, if you have clothing, that's a little different. Say, for example, you are an author and you have books. Make sure, I would recommend that if you have books, that it's a pretty cool area. Because books, if it's too hot in an area, the cover on your books can begin to stick together inside of a box. And then you're going to have damaged covers for your books. I don't know how many of you have experienced that, but I know that I did. Okay, I'm talking from experience. So make sure if you have books in a box and you are an author, make sure it's a cool area where those books are stored, because you don't want damaged books. So be careful about that. All right. Make sure the area that you have your products in, make sure it's a cool area. That's what I would recommend. That's my personal recommendation. All right. So again, what do we talk about tonight? Really quick, as I told you, really short and sweet and to the point tonight with this particular episode. How do you protect your products? We gave you 5 suggestions tonight. We said, number 1, that you keep your products in containers, right? Number 2, utilize a closet or some type of safe. Number 3, of course, that leads me into the 3rd suggestion, which is a safe, right? Number 4, an offshore account. And number 5, a cool area. Okay, it has to be a cool area. Nothing damp, but cool. Okay, be careful with the temperatures. So those are just 5 tips, suggestions when it comes to protecting your product. Now look, if you have other suggestions, right, on how to protect your product, you can definitely share those suggestions below. Whether you're watching this on Facebook, perhaps you're watching this on YouTube, my blog, or any particular other place, listen, write your suggestions, because guess what? I'm not claiming to know all ideas, but these are some ideas that I've utilized for myself, and they have worked like a charm. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Lakeisha McKnight here, of course, your leadership strategist, with this brand new, exciting series. And here's what I do want to share with you before I exit. There's going to be a special course, right? This is a digital course that I'm going to be offering really soon. I'm going to share more information about this and how you can really get access to this course. So definitely stay tuned. This will be a course that's really going to help those of you who are trying to build your network, right? You're trying to bring in individuals, build a global network from the comfort of your home. I'm going to give you strategies and tips that I've implemented where I've generated results. And of course, I've shared these tips with some of the individuals that I've sponsored, a part of organizations as well. And they have definitely brought in some results as a result of implementation. Okay, so I'll share that with you pretty soon, information about the course. But for now, those of you who are still listening in right now, and perhaps you are thinking, well, Lakeisha, I may need an option. I may need a way by which I can make more money while I sleep. Or perhaps you're that individual who is saying, well, I need to establish generational wealth for my children and my children's children. And so if you're listening in and you want to learn how to build wealth, you want to learn how to operate from the B quadrant and the I quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki speaks of in his book, Cash Flow Quadrants. If you want to be a big business owner and an investor, I'm going to invite you to inquire about this money system that my husband and I have been plugged into for 3 years. And so for those of you who are watching, perhaps, there's someone who is listening in and they already are plugged into this money system. You're going to want to get back with that person that may have shared this video with you. But otherwise, if you're watching from a group on Facebook because it's a watch party, or you're watching on my timeline, I invite you to inbox me to ask about this money system, because it's this money system that has helped my husband and I to become millionaires by choice, because it was simply a decision that we made 3 years ago. And so it has helped us tremendously. We're making money while we sleep. We get paid up to 20 times a month. And it's just an amazing system. Okay. An amazing system that we plugged into for free. Nothing is required to start it up except you completing an online account. An online application takes less than 2 minutes to complete it. All right. So again, for those of you who want to learn more about this amazing money system, I know, for example, on Tuesdays, we have what we call wealth building presentations where you can learn about this money system. And so where you would want to go to learn about this money system on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you can go to www.goldrocks.info. That is the website you can go to, goldrocks.info. And that's going to take you to the presentation that takes place, and it starts at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you have more time to jump on the platform. It's the Zoom platform where you can catch some of this presentation. Now, there may be occasions where we also do the presentation by way of a watch party on my timeline. But for right now, if you want to get to that presentation and learn more about this money system, you want to go to goldrocks.info and make sure that you have downloaded the Zoom app because it's taking place on the Zoom platform. All right. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to the Leadership TKO live show, because right now we're doing video and the podcast. Appreciate your time and your attention. We're going to be back tomorrow night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a fresh new episode. But until tomorrow night, I want to encourage each and every one of you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, everyone, and God bless.